been?
Good. You? What was that?
Oh, what was that?
I don't know. you threw me off guard.
Yeah, sorry, man. I just caught you off guard, throwing it at you like that. What have you been up to then, mate?
Just work, really.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's been good.
Yeah? You've been coping alright?
Yeah. I spoke to you a little bit, didn't I? I'm fine, but I everything's been going really well, and it's quite weird. It's good. I'm quite content, but it's something I'm not quite used to, I think. So it's taken a bit of getting used to. I don't feel down. I don't feel sad. I just feel a bit strange. Do you know what I mean? But nice is it. Like I've got the hours I want, so I've got good work life and family life balance, and I've got time off where I can do the things we're doing, and a job I really enjoy doing. I've got everything that I hope for, and it's nice, but it is strange. It's a strange feeling, but it's good. It's just taking a bit of getting used to, but I'm absolutely fine. I'd tell you if I wasn't.
Yeah, I know you would, and I know you. So we obviously went to another CA meeting tonight. And you sort of mentioned there, there's almost sort of that anticipation of something coming up that doesn't go along with all the success and good stuff that's happening. Yeah. And I said to you, as I don't anticipate the drop. Yeah. Because then you'll kind of, what's the word? You'll preempt it. It's like you're expecting something.
Because you draw in what you put out.
Exactly. Yeah, you say
you manifest it. Yeah. And I get that. And then I'm not expecting a drop. There's been times in the past when things are going good, and I've thought, it's all going to go tits up, and like you say, it does when you think like that. And I don't see it. I'm just processing it all and taking it in, and not getting too excited about everything. I think to keeping a steady head about it all. Do you know what I mean? I think I'm doing it the right way. If I'm honest.
And work's been going good.
Really good, mate. I love it. I really do love it. Yeah. Like every job I've ever had in the past, I've been looking at the clock and wanting, without going in earlier, out of choice. I've stayed and mucked in and helped out because that's my team down there, and that's me job. Do you know what I mean? And whereas other places I've had good teams I've worked in, but I haven't liked the job so much. I lose interest, and I've noticed it in my behaviour. I get ratty and stuff if I don't like being somewhere. When I worked in warehousing, I just wanted to drive straight past the place. Do you know what I mean? I hated it, and I think that's very important to find something you enjoy doing. Your work is where you're at a lot of the time. You've got to do something you enjoy.
Yeah, that's been my last month where I've just I spent most of my fucking month just at home, at work, and I did. You have to make sure that place is right, and what you're doing there is what makes you happy, and you get that sort of job satisfaction.
Yeah.
Obviously, I talked openly about my problems I had earlier in the year, but where I'm at now, I'm in a good place. I've got a lot better control on the things that were stressing me and things that are out of my control, but I was trying to take ownership of things, and I just needed to separate myself a little bit more from it. And once that kicked into gear, and it was just a case of, right, I'm going to stick this out. I need to get my shit together on this. Yeah. And then it worked. And since then, that's just clicked in. Yeah. So even though I've had a really long month where I think I've only had 3 or 4 days off over this past month, but even on them days I was off fucking doing all sorts.
Yeah. Our days off are busier now.
Yeah.
We've got so much going on our days off of that, haven't we?
It's like my week. I had a whole weekend off. I worked 3 weekends this month, which is a lot. They're all just doing favours and whatnot for people, but the one weekend I did have off, I ended up going down to Brighton and doing the London to Brighton bike ride. Yeah. It's like 53 miles and a load of hills, so it wasn't exactly a weekend off. Do you know what I mean? But that was enjoyable, and that was the British Heart Foundation's actual event, so that was nice to take part in that, and Yeah, it's been a long fucking month. And
Yeah.
finally, from this week, I'm now on 2 weeks leave. So,
yeah, and I've got a busy 2 weeks in store for you.
yeah, I know. We've got a few things coming up, haven't we?
Yeah.
So,
all positive stuff though. Like, that's another thing. I don't feel like we're taking on too much.
No.
We're going to Scotland at the weekend. Is a bit crazy.
Yeah, we're going to Scotland. That was your idea originally, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Go see Harry, wasn't
We
it?
got. By mistake, we planned it. I planned it on the day of the dip we're doing for charity.
Yes.
For cancer research.
It's a big one. It's a big one this weekend.
Yeah, this weekend.
July the 2nd.
July the 2nd, jumping in the water for cancer research, fancy dress. So there's a few of us doing it in fancy dress, and then I double booked us, didn't I? So we'll go to Scotland, and then we're going to just shoot straight up to Scotland, straight from the dip.
Yeah.
And then climb a mountain.
And
jump in the lagoon there. Is it a lagoon?
No, it's a lock.
Potato.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
So we'll get that done. Jump in the lock.
Is that where the lock is?
No, don't even. I knew you were fucking going there. I knew that was where your head was going. You wanted to start talking about monsters and stuff like no. So we're gonna do a dip in the lock, and we're gonna go do a mountain, and then we're gonna come back. So it's gonna be a long weekend. That's gonna be tough and demanding. We'll get through it.
But so am I. Like tough and like really tough. No, not selling it to you.
No.
Some might say I'm the Loch Ness monster.
Jesus Christ. Honestly, mate, I don't know what this podcast has become. Where are we going?
Scotland.
Yeah, we're going to Scotland. We're going to Scotland. We're going to go and we're going to go do a mountain. We're going to have a dip in the loch. We'll have a catch up with Harry, won't we?
Yeah, I think we're going to do a podcast with Harry part 2 as well.
Yeah.
I spoke to him the other day, and he said that he wanted to get a few more stuff off his chest that he didn't get off last time. So that'd be good to have a chat with him and that again, get him on the episode.
That was actually the first one I ever listened to. He was episode 3, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So that when I remember the first one I ever actually downloaded to listen was his, and then I worked backwards from him.
Yeah.
But, really good episode. That'd be nice to meet him and have a chat. So.
Have you met Harry?
I might have been there for when he was here for the dip. I might have been. I don't remember. But I'll meet him this weekend. Yeah. So that'll be fun.
Yeah. Good.
So the big dip on July the 2nd for charity. Yeah. So anyone interested in coming down, please come down. Bring some pennies, some cash, and donate to the cause. Yeah. Which is
cancer research.
Yes.
Yeah. My dad come on the podcast, didn't we? We said if you haven't heard his story, go and check it out. But we said on there that we're going to sort out the dip. And I'm a man of my word. If I say something, I'm going to do it.
Have you got a costume yet?
Yeah. Me too. I'm going as you. No, I'm not really. Jesus Christ. That's when we're stilts. I'm going to keep it as a surprise what I'm going at.
Oh yeah? Oh good, okay. Yeah. To be fair,
and I'm shit keeping secrets.
So my costume's actually changed. You know the one I told you? I've actually changed it now. So something else.
That's quite good because someone else said in the water today that they were going to come as what you was, and I thought, oh dear, but if you changed it.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Not that it'd have been a problem. But
there would have been a problem.
That's what I was going to say to you as well. I stumbled across a brilliant poem the other day. I'm going to put you on the spot. I'm going to make you read it out.
You're going to drop poetry on me?
No, I'm going to make you read it out. Google it. It's brilliant, and I think our listeners can get a lot from it.
Okay, what's it called?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh,
I'm joking. I'm joking. It's called The Cookie Thief.
The Cuckoo Thief.
The Cookie Thief.
Cookie Thief.
I think.
Poem. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That was quite long.
Yeah. That's why I'm getting you to read it out.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Right. So the Cookie Thief. Are you ready?
Yep.
Are you sitting comfortably?
I am. Hang on. Proceed.
Then I'll begin. The Cookie Thief by Valerie Cox. Is this relevant?
Brilliant.
Is it relevant to what? Or are you just making me?
Just read it.
Okay. The Cookie Thief by Valerie Cox. A woman was waiting at an airport one night with several long hours before her flight. She hunted for a book in the airport shops, bought a bag of cookies and found a place to drop. She was engrossed in her book, but happened to see that the man sitting beside her, as bold as could be, grabbed a cookie or two from the bag in between, which she tried to ignore to avoid a scene. As she munched the cookies and watched the clock, as the gutsy cookie thief diminished her stock, she was getting more irritated as the minutes ticked by, thinking if I wasn't so nice I would blacken his eye. With each cookie he took one too. When only one was left, she wondered what he would do. With a smile on his face and a nervous laugh, he took the last cookie and broke it in half. He offered her half as he ate the other. She snatched it from him and thought, "Ooh, brother, this guy has some nerve, and he's also rude. Why, he didn't even show any gratitude." She had never known when she had been so galled, and sighed with relief when her flight was called. She gathered her belongings and headed to the gate, refusing to look back at the thieving ingrate. She boarded the plane and sank in her seat. Then she sought her book, which was almost complete. As she reached in her baggage, she grasped with surprise. There was her bag of cookies in front of her eyes. "If mine are here," she moaned in despair, "the others were his, and he tried to share." Too late to apologise, she realised with grief that she was the rude one, the ingrate, the thief.
That's very good, isn't it? Like, how many times do you think situations have happened like that where people have completely misled a situation?
Mm-hmm.
That was good, wasn't it?
Yeah, I liked it.
Thank you.
I mean,
I didn't write it, but I'm taking credit for it.
Yeah.
Because
yeah. No, I liked
that
it.
gives you a lot to think about.
Yeah,
though,
I
doesn't
did like that. That was good.
Yeah. And I think you read it very well, Jack.
Thanks, man.
That's
yeah.
right.
No, I mean, yeah.
Better than what I did. But that, I think that will give a lot of people a lot to think about. I think that's,
Okay,
that's
well,
very good.
if you're tuning in and listening to this, please drop us a comment and let us know what you thought of the poem.
Yeah.
The author was a lady called Valerie Cox.
Coxie.
I don't know whether she's a famous poet, but she probably should be, because that's a very nice poem.
Yeah, me and Valerie Cox go way back. I met her at an airport.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were eating cookies.
Yeah.
Okay, brilliant. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else you want to add?
No.
I mean, we've got a few things to coming up, haven't we? And,
Yeah. We're going in tomorrow.
What, dip tomorrow?
No, we're going tomorrow. We're going to.
Do you want to talk about this on the podcast? Because
Shall we talk about once we've done it?
because you don't actually know what we're doing tomorrow, do you?
Well, we are going to talk to some people about their mental health.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got an exciting day ahead.
Yeah.
With a little bit of unknown, so that makes it a little bit more exciting.
Yeah. Well, it's not unknown. It has been explained to me, but I'm just having difficulty explaining it to you what we're actually doing.
Okay.
But
I kind of figured that might be the case.
Yeah.
But,
as always, I just say we're going somewhere. Come with me, and you say yes, and it works out all right.
yeah, it does. Yeah, it does work out.
Have I ever failed you? All right, don't.
Are we doing a dip in the morning?
Do you want it?
Yeah, I'm
Well, I've got
going down.
Yeah, I've got dentist at 9.
Yeah.
The listeners don't need to know that really.
Why have you got the dentist then?
For my teeth.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about it?
Duh.
Or are you
Because I've got an earache.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I don't need to talk about that. It's just,
No.
I've got a winning smile. I just think there's room for improvement. No, I've got a little tiny chip in my tooth.
Yeah, but you were quite self-conscious, and like I said to you, if you hadn't have said anything,
It probably is a good point to talk about, actually, because people might.
I think it is. That's why I was
Yeah.
getting at. That's why I said. That's why I asked the question about the depth.
Well,
So
you know
I
I'm a
wanted you
bit slow sometimes.
I know. That's why I wanted you to just.
I've got a good idea, Jack. Let's talk about my
But
tooth.
instead, you just mocked me.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. That's fine though. Go ahead. Go on.
Well, I've got a little tiny. Well, it started off years ago. A little tiny chip at the back of my tooth. Someone elbowed a pint glass into while I was drinking it, and it chipped the back of my tooth. It's my front tooth, but you wouldn't even notice it's there. It's chipped away a little bit at the front now, so I notice it. Other people might have done, but it's not as bad from saying you looking at it now. But when I rub my tongue across the back of it, it's very noticeable for me, and it's starting to feel a little bit sensitive now. But what that's doing is making me very aware of it, and robbing my peace of mind a little bit, because I'm conscious of it, and it's your front tooth. You don't want to lose your front tooth. Yeah. I mean, like, if I rub my tongue on it now, it's not sharp, but it's hard to explain. But anyway, because it's making me worry a little bit and a bit anxious about it. I just thought, get it sorted.
Yeah, just for the listeners' sake, it's completely unnoticeable from my point of view. If Sam hadn't have said anything, I wouldn't even know. But I twigged onto it quite quickly. He was showing that he was quite self-conscious about it, because it is unnoticeable. You can't actually tell.
Well, it's not the fact as well. It's when I bite into stuff, I'm thinking, so it's a problem that needs to be dealt with, because I think if I bite into something, because the back of my tooth has gone, and it has got worse recently at the back, then it could.
I hate the dentist, mate. I had so as a kid I had to have quite a few fillings. It wasn't because I was stuffing my face with sweets all the time. Just the way my teeth developed, they needed a bit of work doing as when I was younger.
Right.
So I had to have quite a few fillings done, and I hated it. I absolutely dreaded going to the dentist because I was still very young. And I think I was quite traumatised by it, because from a young age, my early memories of going to the dentist was I always had to have a drill in my mouth.
Yeah.
And that for me, that affected me. And I think when I got to the point where I wasn't going with Mum anymore and it was down to me, I haven't been. I've never been back to the dentist.
Well, I'm taking my mum tomorrow. I'm not really. But I would if she'd come with me. Yeah. But I don't think anyone likes the dentist. So people say I get it, but people go, I mean, I'm not a fan of the dentist.
So chances are, chances are I'm going to have to go back at some point, because similar to you, I have got a chipped front tooth and that's got a cap on it, but the cap has started to deteriorate for the last year, and I feel like little bits of it have started to come off.
Really?
So I know down the line I'm going to have to, because that's literally like the tooth is split in half once the cap comes off.
Well, I'm going to a new dentist tomorrow. That's interesting, because she said she couldn't cap it at the last place. But it was costing me a fortune, because every time I went in there, she'd completely ignore the tooth that I was talking about, and then it cost me a fortune on other work she'd done. Yeah. And I don't trust dentists. I mean, that's probably the right thing to say.
Probably is, mate. Yeah. I mean, dentists do a fantastic job. That's what.
Mine don't. I've still got a chipped tooth.
Another reason why I don't want to go back is obviously I've got that one. I'm going to have to go back because that will come off at some point. But I've also got a broken tooth as well, which I know is broken. It's also a dead tooth, so the nerve is gone. I did have probably probably a couple of years ago. I had a couple of days of real bad toothache, and I got so frustrated I ended up like whacking it.
Toothache is the worst.
And I punched it, and then whatever I did, it didn't come out or dislodge or anything, but the pain just went.
Don't recommend that to people.
No, I'm not recommending that to people.
I don't like dentists because they hurt me, but I punched myself in the face.
I was doing my head in. So
it is horrendous though, isn't it? Toothache and earache.
But whatever I did, that stopped the pain, and then literally since then I've just noticed the tooth is dead, so there's been like chunks of it that have come out, and that's just a dead tooth.
If you punch things, they'll probably die. There'll be a picture of me. Is that going to be quoted underneath?
Is that quote going to be on the print?
Yeah, people will be sharing that far and beyond for years. If you punch things, they will die. Sam Phillips. 2020. Yeah. What year is it?
But yeah, no, I'm not a fan of the dentist, mate, so I wish you all the best in going back and getting your teeth pulled. If I don't see you...
Do you reckon I'll get a sticker still?
Well, you deserve something to go, because I wouldn't go. I ain't going.
No.
To be fair, it's going to take a lot of convincing, even when this cap comes off, because I'll look terrible, but someone's going to have to say you need to get that sorted, because I won't go voluntarily.
Really?
No.
Like actual fear on it?
There's not... I don't think it's fear, because I know what treatment has to be done, and I'd go there to get it fixed. Do you know what I mean? So I know that's where I need to go to get it sorted. But in my head, it's like as a kid.
So I wouldn't recommend going to the salon for it.
No, yeah, I know. But there's the shit that happened as a kid, I was just like, oh no, I can't.
So that is fear.
Yeah, it's not.
It is. You're just trying to be manly.
I don't think it is. No, because
right, I'm scared. I'm scared of things.
No, it's not a fear.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a fear. I don't like dentists.
Because you're scared of them?
No,
I'm in a funny mood. I've been in a bit of a funny mood tonight.
Because my dentist is a really lovely bloke.
Really?
Yeah, no, he's an ex-schoolmate of my mum. So like, that was the other thing. That was like, he's really nice bloke, really good dentist. But it was just the whole like metal in my mouth, and I just did not like it.
What is that all about with the what they speak in code?
Yeah, that's it.
Like the woman sat there and C934.
Yeah.
I think, what does that mean?
Well, I'm not a dentist, Sam. So.
Well, it's a good job because you just punch teeth.
Yeah. Well, if anyone, no, I'm not going to go there. Let's move on. Let's move on from dentist. We're getting fucking sidetracked here.
We've got. We're doing another podcast tomorrow as well.
Yeah, we've got a couple lined up.
Yeah, we've got Gareth Lake coming down tomorrow.
Yeah.
He's a good friend of mine. Him and my dad and his dad were best mates growing up, so I've known Gareth since the beginning. We used to go on family holidays and that together.
Yeah.
Gareth used to get in a bit of bother with the law and has been in prison a few times, and he's going to come on and share how he got on in the nick and stuff. We're going to meet up and talk to him tomorrow, so about what he wants to talk about and what he don't. So I won't say too much right now, but it's going to be an things. Gareth is a fucking big character, so it's going to be a very interesting chat.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, there's just going to be 3 big, beefy guys in a room.
I don't even know why you. Anyway, I'm glad you could amuse yourself, Sam.
3 heavy chats.
But other than that, we've got some good stuff planned. I think just for me, I think the last, I said to you this morning, I just kind of, even though I've started my leave this week, I've kind of got whacked with a couple of shitty things this morning that kind of caught me off guard, and I found out a family member is really ill at the moment and not doing too great. Blast from the past is kind of trying to worm their way back into my family and whatnot. So yeah,
it's took an effect on you, hasn't it?
I think so.
We spoke about it, and there's some. Yeah, it's definitely. I can tell that it's affected you.
Yeah. It's just weird how these things can happen though in life, aren't they? They just you get yourself. My mindset was on leave and just relaxing and doing some things that I really enjoy. And
out of nowhere, bang.
Yeah, it was like literally. It was the first thing I did a night shift for that was just a bit of shadowing at my place of work last night, and came back and literally just walked in the front door to it, and just had these 2 like double whammy.
And it always comes a couple at a time or something.
Yeah,
and that's the thing, right? I think that's the difference from where I'm at personally now from years ago. Because years ago I was always trying to avoid these fucking bangs that life throws at you, which is impossible. You're always going to get them. What you've got to learn to do is deal with the blows that it hits you, learn how to defend against them. Do you know what I mean? Like you're always going to get these things that come out of nowhere if you can mentally prepare yourself and accept the fact that these things are going to happen and choose a different way to deal with it to what you have done before. Because I'm only talking me personally, not saying you, but with things that have hit me in the past and I've took it really hard, all I can do now is learn from that and know that wasn't the right way to deal with it. Whereas I buried my head in the sand when I got news like you have, especially I'd use drink and drugs to mask over that, and then like I've said before, that you're just masking over the problem, not dealing with it.
Yeah.
Now I know these blows are going to come my way, but I choose to deal with them more.
Well, I think I kind of went back into me fail safe this morning because my mum got very emotional, and I could tell she was slipping into her habits, which is she just goes over and over and over the same thing over and over again. And I saw it coming, and I just went, right, Mum, I'm going for a walk. And so I did, because for me, my fail safe is getting out going for a run, going for a walk, exercise, clearing your mind, and then talking to someone. And it just so happened, whilst I was out on my long walk, did just over 6 miles walking, but you called about midway through, and I thought, I was like, well, fucking, that's got to be a sign, because Sam's called me, and I'm always fucking telling you what's going on, and how I'm feeling and whatnot. And that was like, perfect opportunity, mate. This is what's happened this morning. And once I've done that, I went and had a workout as well, and that's all right. They're not nice things that's happened, so they're going to take a little bit of thing. But from doing that this morning and what I've done today, it's definitely mellowed out, and they're manageable things that have happened, So they're all things I can cope with. But that's just the way of life, isn't it?
It is, and it sucks. Ooh, the hell is that?
It's a bug, Sam. It's summer, and there's lots of bugs about. I think that's a daddy long legs.
Threw me right off course, that did.
It did, it caught you off guard, didn't it? But no, they do. They catch you off guard, don't they? Things just come up out of the blue, and
what, the bugs? Sorry, no.
You're bothered by that bug.
No, they do, mate. And do you know what though? Like, even you've had 2 serious incidents happen to you, and it makes your head think and spiral. But your head can do that anyway, can't it? And I said this in a meeting the other day. At the minute as well, if I'm having a bit of a bad day, I used to always over-analyse it and try and think, why am I feeling anxious? Why am I feeling this? Now, I think, because I'm human, I can feel a little bit anxious. I don't have to analyse it, I don't have to overthink it. I'm just feeling a little bit anxious, and this will pass, do you know what I mean? And it's the same as, even when you're sad or happy, you can acknowledge the feeling, but you don't have to dwell on it.
No.
Because every emotion you're feeling will pass, and then you will attach onto a different one.
That makes me think that recent video is up on social media, the Tom Hanks thing, this too shall pass. And he was talking about how you feel good, you feel happy, this too shall pass. You feel bad, something terrible's happened, this too shall pass.
I like Tom Hanks.
That kind of recurring thing, these things in life that come along and throw curveballs at us, and you fall into pits of despair, or you're up on a high and everything's going really well, but it all passes.
Yeah.
And that's the way of life. That's how things happen.
Tom Hanks is a legend.
He certainly is, mate.
Yeah.
One of my faves.
You and Jenny lot Peter Carriskin.
You've done the voice. You've done the fucking voice. Okay. I think we're about half an hour there, mate. Do you want to? So we a few weeks ago, didn't we? We did the chat on religion, didn't we?
Yeah.
So we're going to tag that onto this one.
Yeah, we'll put it on the back of it. We done a little chat, just spoke about it. I can't remember what we said now.
Well, that was just off the back of, because we'd come from Southend when we were driving back. We went off on a bit of a tangent talking about all sorts, didn't we? Yeah. And you said, this would actually be quite good if we recorded some of this as like topic ones to discuss. Yeah. So we did. We had a brief chat about religion. Yeah, I mean,
you know what?
I mean, look, we're not the most, we're certainly not the most informed individuals, but when you listen, that's it's just a very kind of open, free flowing thought of how we see things.
Yeah, and I remember, I can't remember what it said, but I remember feeling a bit awkward and not wanting to talk about it. It's because I don't completely understand it, but it's weird that tonight in a meeting, and I won't mention anyone's names in meetings, but I think the guy explained it really well, not necessarily religious, but like the spiritual side of things, and I thought, I get that. That's not like.
Yeah, I mean, we discuss it in the bit that we've done, but religion does have a powerful effect on people, and it doesn't always have to be denominated to a specific following or a specific group. I think that whole
it's just having the faith,
spirituality and that side of things, anyone can pick that up and have a massive impact on people's lives.
It's just having the faith and the hope.
And 100%, I certainly witnessed it.
Yeah.
When I saw that tonight, I was like, that is the perfect example of how someone having some form of spirituality or religion
Yeah.
has changed his life and
because
made him a better human being.
Well,
because
you
of it.
see that powerful share tonight, but you didn't see him when I first see him come in the rooms, and they're different. That you'd think there's two different blokes, and that shows you what the power of faith can have.
There's no doubt in that.
That's what I love. I love recovery. I love seeing people get better. It helps you stay better.
Yeah.
Well, it keeps you better.
It's that motivation thing. Isn't
It is, yeah.
Sharing the stories.
Yeah. And we'd like to do that as well, don't we?
Yeah. Well, no. I mean, I've known just since we started doing these, mate. That I get random messages of people just saying they like what we're talking about. And
it's nice.
And I said, we're not really the most informed, or do you know what I mean? We're not.
Speak for yourself.
but we're not. We're just being honest about how we feel and
Yeah.
things that come up, and talking to people that interest us. And
Yeah.
people
Well,
with
you did
interesting
say
stories.
about calling me the owl, the wise owl. No, that was me that said that.
It's that awkward pause again. So you're just the master of that. You're dropping these lines in. The wise owl.
Yeah.
Where did that come from?
Tweet.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
That's not even an owl tweet, is it?
No, it's not. Sam.
Do an
No.
owl impression. Go on, do it.
Should I do it for the podcast?
Yeah, do it.
I think that's.
That was, to be honest, I thought I just double checked around to see if there was an owl about.
Thank you. I've been known to do a bit of acting in my past, mate.
Well,
And to be fair,
as a script gets dropped through the door for owl, you'll definitely get it.
Thanks, mate. And to be fair, that's actually quite topical because you've got the owls in Ipswich Town Centre at the moment, haven't you? You know, they had the a couple of years ago. They had the sculptures of the pigs with all the different designs and whatnot.
Is that owls now? Is it?
Owls now.
Why? What were the pigs all about?
There's owls, mate. If people go into Ipswich Town Centre, there's a load of owls, all different designs, and they've all got names.
Do you know any of the names?
Don't know.
If one of them's called Sam, egg on your face.
Jesus.
I've had too much caffeine.
Right, I think we're done. We're done. I think that's it.
All right.
You've had too much caffeine today. It's getting late. I think we're done, aren't we? Are we good?
I'm good.
So please enjoy our religion chat that we had a couple of weeks ago, and stay tuned. Like and subscribe. Spotify, YouTube, DareToTalk, all the platforms, Facebook, Instagram, all of that.
All that.
Yeah.
Peace out.
Stop.
I put on Instagram and people give us some topics to talk about.
Yeah.
And we're going to do a few of these videos, aren't we? So
yeah.
There was some good topics in there, but we said we'd talk about religion today.
Yeah. So it's one of the things that come on with travelling back from Southend the other day. And I think, well, do you want to go first? Your personal experiences on religion?
Not really.
No.
Well, it's weird for me because I went from being anti-religious.
What, from a young age?
Well, I don't know really. We went to Sunday school and stuff.
Did you?
And but I used to have a resentment against it because I hated it.
So
and
why
then
did you go to Sunday school?
I don't know. I just remember going. And
was it your mum's choice, dad's choice?
I don't know. No idea. I don't know.
Excellent start.
I know. My mum. They used to have like different parties on there and that. My mum made me and my brother like the Ninja Turtles out of the old shreddy boxes and that before and painted it. And that was fun.
Yeah.
But I hated all the God talk and I didn't.
Was it more of a social thing then?
To be honest, mate, I've no idea. I used to do a lot of drugs and I haven't got much of a memory.
Okay, right, fair enough.
I don't really know. I don't know. We didn't go all the time.
But you hated the God stuff.
I hated it. I hated Sunday school.
What do you think it was that you didn't like about it?
I was bored. Very bored. I wanted to be active and getting out and playing football and that, I think. And so I just thought, this is crap. Yeah.
Okay.
And never really thought about it. And then as I got older and I was suffering with anxiety and depression and everything, I used to I just think, oh, there's not a God. Like,
Yeah.
like, and how can there be a God when all this bad stuff happens in the world? And when you're anxious and depressed and that, you're not really focused on all the good that's going on in the world. So you tend to focus more on the negatives. And since I've come into recovery, the first step, they say, is hand it over to a higher power, and that higher power doesn't have to be a God, but a God of your understanding. And some people use the universe as their higher power, which I was at first. But the longer I've been in recovery, I started feeling like I had like a guardian angel, if you like. And I'll tell you what it does for me. I don't know if there's a God, but I didn't. I used to think there was a Santa Claus and Christmas was a lot better. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What God does, I'm not saying God, but with having a higher power or a thought of what you live in faith instead of fear. And since I've started living in faith and not living in fear, my life's got better. So having a hope that there is something has made a positive impact on my life. Does that sound crazy?
No, it's accurate, mate. Because I've witnessed it myself. Where people have changed their lives and for the better.
In the prison job,
they've become better people through finding religion. So I know. There's method to it. There's definitely something to it. If it can have a positive spin on people.
Don't get me wrong. I'm
all for supporting people doing that.
Yeah, I'm not going to be going to church every week and everything.
Why not?
But because it's not me, and I still, like a kid, would get bored listening to the God stuff. And also, I think people hide behind religion in a lot of ways to create evil and stuff. They've done it before, and like with priests and stuff. I'm not saying all priests, but like that hiding behind a cloth in a way. Some people and that as well. And with churchgoers, I find that they try and force religion on people sometimes as well. Not everyone, but some people. I generally think that each person should have a God of their choice or a higher power, but it'd be their own personal one, and you shouldn't have to like try and make other people believe what you believe. Like, we were talking about Ricky Gervais, and I think he's brilliant, and he's an atheist, but he chooses not to believe, and that's his decision.
Yeah.
Where it's my decision to start opening, like believing in a higher power for myself personally. I wouldn't expect you to believe it because I did. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think I'm sounding nuts coming across.
It's fine, mate. It is what it is. I think, look, everyone's got their own experiences from it, and I
feel uncomfortable talking about it.
What religion?
Yeah.
Why?
Because I know what it sounded like, and my opinion I had on people in the past when they said that they believed in God.
Yeah.
And where I like to try and pretend I don't always care what people think with this sort of stuff, because sometimes I do.
I'm past caring.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
I am, mate. I'm such. I've said this before on here, but I'm just at a point. I don't care on me.
Yeah. Do you believe in God?
So, I suppose it's probably why I want you to go first, because my belief system is. It's very skewed and it chops and changes, and I'm influenced by other thinkers and the other people who see things differently. But my starting point with religion came from my education. So I went to St Joseph's College in Ipswich. That's where I started my school, and I did all my schooling through there. And it's a religious school. So every morning we had a chapel service. And there'd be readings, there'd be hymns, there'd be speakers come in and talk about how they've been their faith and their belief in God has sort of changed them, made them who they are, and how it's influenced their lives and whatnot. So my early start in life was very much religious, and I was very much a believer as a young kid. Which is, it's odd because my mum and my stepdad were not religious in the slightest, and I don't think they ever imparted anything on me. I was never not baptised as a kid, or all that sort of stuff, or as a kid or anything. Never church goers as a family, but what could praise my mum for now is the fact that she left that side of life open to me and my brother. She sort of, her opinion was, I want you boys to figure out what you want to believe. And if you want to believe that, then that's your belief, which was quite an open-minded way of viewing things from back then. But yeah, I remember I got to about 11 years old, and I was sat in one of these morning services, and my old school used to be run by this group of brothers. It used to be a boys' school, and it was run by a religious group, and these monks who sort of, the brother such and such, they'd run it, and even when I came there, they'd all kind of left the teaching side of things, and they'd all retired or gone for another thing, but quite often they'd bring them back for services and stuff. But I remember even as a kid, I'd sit there and think, oh fucking hell, they dug up this time, like sort of thing. These old boys would come in and talk about God, and I'd always be a little bit creeped out by them. But I remember sat there at 11. I can remember the moment. I was sat quite near the front of the chapel, and it is a beautiful chapel that they've got there. It's a really lovely church that they have there. But I was sat quite near the front, and they had the altar in the middle, and then they had this. They've got a big crucifix that sort of hangs over the altar, and they've got this sculpture of Jesus on the cross. And I remember looking up at that, and then sort of looking at this old boy who stood there talking. And something in my head just went, this is bollocks, mate, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like, this is all rubbish. And generally it was like a real moment like that where I just thought, oh, what is this? No, I don't believe in this shit. No, I'm not into this at all. And from that day, I became an atheist. Totally. I was totally against it, didn't agree with it. Every morning, I'd go to the chapel service every morning, but I'd just sit there bored. This is rubbish, not interested, blah blah blah. Anyway, I suppose that went all the way through to, I don't know, probably up until when I was 21, 22, and I found out about my dad. I think was kind of the changing point for me. So up until that point, very much an atheist, and I never was a believer in God. I didn't believe in any religion, not just Christianity, but it was all religions. I just didn't think there was any sort of substance to it. I thought they're all man-made, all rubbish and blah blah blah. But I remember finding out about my dad, my biological dad, and the story that I told however many episodes ago it was, and I remember at that point in my life finding out about him, finding out where I came from. Something in me just wanted there to be some sort of afterlife, and I think that belief in an afterlife, naturally that falls in line with some sort of religion, because that's how religion is sort of formed, that belief that there's a higher power and there's a life after death. So you have that kind of religious feeling towards it.
Because I want to see me nan that again, and even if it's not the case, even if you have that bit of a belief, makes your life better. So what's the harm in it?
Exactly. So and I instantly I was just like, something in me, I want to believe that my dad is still out there somewhere, and that he knows that I've been found, and that I've found out about him, and that he's looking down on me, and I like that. That's almost comforting. I find comfort in that. And then, but I suppose even in that, I didn't really latch onto religion. It was more just that sort of belief that there was something, that maybe there was some sort of higher power.
Has your life got better since then?
Yes and no. I've had me dips.
I asked that because when I come into the recovery and they were talking about this, I struggled with the higher power thing at first, because I thought, I don't believe it, and I never did. And I admit it, even got a hump a couple of months previous to that, because the school had tried talking to my kids about it, and because I was so bitter about the world, I was like, how dare they talk to my kids about religion? And I even said to my daughter, well, you believe what you want, but I think I even said to her, I don't believe it or whatnot, and sort of made her mind up for us. And now, I have to say, you have to be open-minded and make your own mind up, do you know what I mean? But when I've first come into recovery, and they were talking about when you realise that you're powerless over your illness and everything, and hand it over to a higher power, whatever that may be, and good things start to happen for you. Well, I made the conscious choice of it, thinking, right, well, I've got nothing else to lose, and accepting, And then I handed it over to whatever this higher power might be, and good things started happening. And I thought, well, that can't be fucking coincidence. Or even if it is, even if it just makes you be a better person, I don't know.
I don't know, mate.
But I do generally, and this is what I'm worried about talking, because I know how crazy that feels to some people that might not have been spiritually awoken or whatnot, but since I've been in AA and CA, I feel like I've had a spiritual awakening, and I do feel connected to a higher power.
Yeah.
And I know how crazy that would sound to someone that's never been, like, trying to find themselves and whatnot, and that might be all it is, or found himself, and might be the universe working in mysterious ways or whatnot, but all I know is since I've had faith instead of fear, my life has got a lot better. I've just landed my dream job. I'm still putting my head on the pillow sober every night, and that's because I'm always talking to someone or something in my head, rather than listening to a negative voice in my head saying you're not good enough. You should kill yourself. You're gonna have a heart attack. You're gonna die. You got this wrong with you. Got that wrong with you. All them voices I used to hear in my head are gone, and the voices I hear in my head now is, what can I do with this situation? How can I be better? Can I help this person today?
That's amazing, man.
Yeah,
it's amazing you've got that point. Do you not ever have those negative thoughts?
Sometimes, but I can talk to.
You get them back out.
Yeah, I can. Like I'll have things creep in, or a certain situation will pop up. Like we went to Southend the other day and done a podcast, and I thought, oh, well, he'll think this a load of shit, and that negative thought, and then that can lead on to another. But what I'm good at now is breaking that negative thought and thinking, and having a bit more faith and just going with it. Like, and there'd have been a time I'd never even been able to sit here and have a podcast with you, because I'd be all up and down and wouldn't be able to sit down and sit still and whatnot. I just wouldn't have been able to do it. But now I can sit and just have a bit of faith that things are going to be alright.
And I think, I still very much have those negative thoughts drift in. Very much. They come and go. I have dips, and I don't know. It's difficult. I don't think I've ever really tied that in with religion. I think a lot of the time when I've found myself at low points, I found myself talking to my dad, which is odd because I never met him, never knew him, but that's something I kind of latched onto, and I like to feel, well, now where I'm at in my life, I like to feel that there is that kind of afterlife. I like to feel like there is a higher power. And I do, in a sense, I do find myself feeling, that kind of, that religious thought process of, that belief thing. I don't latch onto one of these, these kind of established things.
Well, these established things have all. That's if it works for certain people, that's fine. But like, I'm not interested in trying to make someone believe that I believe. If they're a good person, they don't believe in God, they're a good person at the end of the day. I think Ricky Gervais was brilliant, and he's an atheist, but he don't go around telling everyone else they need to be an atheist.
No.
And he said it right in a thing once. He said that he was in an interview and someone said, well, you don't believe in God, and he goes, well, you don't believe in all the other gods, you just believe in one. So he just believes in one less God than you, which is right. So and a lot of people in the past, whether it be nonces or have hid behind religion, like criminals have hid behind religion in the past and stuff. Terrorists have hidden behind religion to create evil. There is a lot of bad things that are to do with religion as well, and there's a lot of positives, but the same with anything in life really. But I think everyone's religion should just be their own personal journey with their own personal belief.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. I think. It's difficult, mate. I see the impact that it can have on individuals, and I can see how much they can change, and how much they can have a positive impact on the world through what they believe. But I don't know. I'm very open to it. I don't criticise people. I don't give anyone. I don't think of anyone differently because they believe in something. I think. Just try to do my own thing, and kind of, I don't know, try and find that purpose in life. And I think human nature. You look back through history, and a lot of things that have been done throughout history, they've all been linked with belief in gods or different religions and whatnot. But I think where I'm at now, I have my own thought process and how I deal with life day to day, and it's not a daily thing where I think of like a higher being or anything like that, but it's every now and again I drift back into that.
Yeah, that's how I'm meant to in recovery, start my day off with prayer and meditation. Do I do it every day? No. Some days I feel more connected than others. Yeah. Some days I don't want to fucking sit there praying. So anyway, there is someone in the in the program I work that puts his socks under his bed because when he kneels down to get him, he does his prayer while he's there.
Better way to do it, I suppose.
But then you can be connected with the universe in different ways. That's why I choose to go down to the water and get into the sea and stuff. I feel connected with the universe there, or with the higher power, whatever you want to choose it. But in the program I'm in is with hope, faith and courage, and hope is hope that I'll see my loved ones one day again. Faith is faith in that there is a higher power, so I can do that. And the courage comes from getting up every day and fucking not picking up a drink and drug, I think. So look, I'm open-minded to the idea that there is, and I hope there is. And the only other option I've got is to not have faith and go around thinking, oh, you're just on this spinning rock. We have no explanation why we're here. We go through all this shit sometimes, you know what I mean, and then nothing at the end of it. So,
but I think I'm also accepting that could just be the case.
Yeah, it might be. And it might be, but that's how I felt for years. Yeah. But now I choose to change my mindset and thinking, no, I'm going to go with. No, there is something else, and this is all just a test, and now I think that's quite a nice idea that at the end of all this, you're sitting up there somewhere with your nan and having another Christmas with him and that, and that's the way I choose to lead my life these days, with a little bit of hope. You know what I mean? Yeah,
it's a nice way of looking at it.
Yeah. I think. Not that I want to get there too soon.
No, definitely not.
Not anymore. I'm in a good place.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's a lot more to come to life, and I'm with you on that, mate. Definitely.